Hello, BookTube. Cheers. Just got home from work, and over the past day, I've been able to do a little bit of a book haul. I actually did a couple books yesterday that I didn't show, but today I picked up some more. Like, that's what I really need to do now that I've straightened out some shelves, is to start piling things up again, but that is the nature of the game. This time around, though, it's a little different to start with. I grabbed quite a few mass market paperbacks. I went to the Listen charity shop, and they just had a big pile of them there, like they didn't know what to do with them. And 75 cents a piece. I don't think I paid too much for them. The hardbacks I got were $1 a piece, so it works out. And some of them are a little odd. They're not odd to me. I mean, I remember getting these when I was younger. I had a whole bunch of them. I still have a few over here. I'll show you what I have to give you a hint of what I'm going to show you. I don't have the hardback of Chariots of the Gods. Eric von Däniken. Those of you into UFOs and aliens and all that will know the author. He really was a big shot back in the day. So this is the Gold of the Gods. This is not one I got today. This is one I already had. And then Gods from Outer Space. And Chariots of the Gods I don't have. But I like this sort of thing. So occasionally, I haven't read it in years. But here I did find today, these have an old sticker on them from a store. A bunch of them do. So I don't know what store it was. I can't really tell. But this is von Däniken, again, the same author. Von Däniken's Proof. Excuse me. Further astonishing evidence of man's extraterrestrial origins. Now, this thing's in really good shape. There's the author, looking dapper and very wealthy by the time this book came out, I'm sure. This is what? This is a Bantam book, and it was $2.25. It's translated by Michael Heron. If you live in England, it was published as According to the Evidence. This is the Bantam edition. Is from July of '78. And it looks like the author copyright is 77, so I don't know how long it took to do the translation. And the typical stuff, right? You'd have ancient Egypt, you'd have all these proofs for extraterrestrials, according to the theory. And the next one I got is by another fella, Richard Weiner. This is From the Devil's Triangle to the Devil's Jaw. New startling evidence of mysterious disappearances around the world. Phantom ships, bizarre sinkings, lost souls, unexplained disasters. Well, of course, if you have a disaster at sea and nobody's around, then it becomes unexplained unless wreckage is found or you radio somebody. And through most of history, you have not been able to do that. But fun stuff. I don't know what that poor little fur seal has to do with it. So I will look to this one. It's not one I have ever seen before. Again, this is a Bantam. They made a lot of money on these things. And this one came out in June of '77. So I thought I'd add it to the pile. And then a very famous one. I actually know that one of these stories is not true. This is Charles Berlitz, and this is the Bermuda Triangle. This thing sold like hotcakes back in the day. He looks trustworthy. And the Bermuda Triangle is the graveyard of ships, right? Or one of them. There's many. This is a first Avon printing, 1975. And it's about mysterious disappearances and the usual thing. This thing sold. This thing looks like it's brand new, which is wild. Maybe the person decided not to read it. So glad to have those. That's sort of a little subcategory here in what I have. Then I found this archaeology book that I have read more than once. This is a Pan illustrated edition, and thrilled to have it. I've never seen this particular edition. And this is Leonard Cottrell, The Bull of Minas. I actually read this in like a book club edition years ago. It was Pan Books, London, Sydney. And this first published in 1953. There was a revised edition in 55. And this is the 12th printing of 1975. Again, in fantastic, it's got a little price tag. Fantastic shape. Wonderful book. And it's, let's see, Leonard Cottrell was born in, let's see, Wolverhampton. So he's done a lot of these archaeology books. He's done Enemy of Rome, The Lost Pharaohs, The Great Invasion, and Lost Cities. So here we get to talk about the Minoans. So I remember it being a very, very, very good book. So glad to have it. Sort of fun to see. This next one I don't know about. I know the author, Arthur Kessler. Again, with one of these price tags on it. This is the 13th Tribe. And I grabbed it because of the author's name, and I just started looking at it. This book by world-famous author, and that was true, Arthur Kessler, represents the culmination of a most astounding feat of historical detective work of our time. In bold, brilliant, enthralling fashion, it proves that the true ancestors of Western Jewry were not Semites, but rather the warrior empire of the Khazars, a mighty power that converted to Judaism in the Dark Ages, and whose subsequent exodus gave birth to the mainstream of the Jewish people as they now exist. This is a book of monumental importance, combining rich romance and adventure of history, the suspense of a search through heretofore uncharted knowledge, and above all, a revelation that profoundly affects the way that others look at Jews and the way Jews look at themselves. Now, I don't know anything. I know about the author. I never heard of this, never heard it discussed. I know who the Khazars are. An author named Pavik did a wonderful book called Dictionary of the Khazars. I have no idea what the received opinion about this book is. If, it was like a good try and it's never really caught on, or if it was a bad try and it's never caught on. I don't know. I mean, I know the Khazars existed. I do remember from Pavik's book that representatives of the Jewish tradition, the Christian tradition, and Islamic tradition came before whoever the king or whatever he would have been called of the Khazars, and had to make a case for their religion because the country was going to convert. So I don't know if this is about that. I would assume it is. So if anybody knows about this book, this is the one that I really have no idea about. But like I say, I know who the author is. Then, I couldn't believe what good condition this was in. I remember when this came out. I remember the movie very well. I loved it. And when the novelization came out. This is Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Great shape. Obviously by Steven Spielberg. Now a Columbia picture. I don't want to open up too much. I don't want to take a chance of breaking my spine. And this is tells you the details about the movie. And this is 1977. So, yeah, glad to have it. Fun movie. Loved it. Then, that's because I've never read this. This is Anne McCaffrey's Dragon Riders of Pern, which I have read, but this is one done with her son, Todd, and this is Dragon's Time. Fairly good condition. I thought I'd just give it a shot. I love the Dragon Riders of Pern series. I did buddy read with Elena Macrodina a few years ago now on this channel, and her channel. It's a good channel. Reading the first three, I believe, of the Dragon Riders of Pern, and we had a great time. Great fun. Well written. Next, I got one of these nonfiction Isaac Asimov, The Solar System and Back. He wrote plenty of these. I like Asimov. I thought he was a good explainer. You know, most of us know him for the Foundation trilogy, I, Robot, all these science fiction stories. But he also did a lot of these nonfiction. I have a couple up in the corner here, but I can't see that far without my glasses. So we'll just see. I don't know if there's any images. There's lots of tables and stuff, but I have his Guide to Science, which I really like. Big old hardback. Then moving right along, I haven't seen these Planet stories. There's some sort of reprint. This is Black God's Kiss by C.L. Moore with an introduction by Susie McKee Charnas. First published in the pages of Weird Tales in 1934, C.L. Moore's Jorel of Jory is the sword and sorcery's first significant female protagonist and one of the most exciting and evocative characters the genre has ever known. In a time when women were still marginalized in genre fiction, Catherine Moore, that's C.L. Moore, stepped forward and opened the door for generations of female science fiction and fantasy writers. Published alongside seminal works by H.P. Lovecraft and Robert E. Howard, the 6 classic fantasy tales included in this volume easily stand the test of time and often overshadow the storytelling and emotional impact of works by Moore's more famous contemporaries. An inspiring work from one of fantasy's most important authors, Black God's Kiss is an essential addition to any fantasy library. Now, I've read C.L. Moore. I can't remember exactly what I've read. Pretty frequently anthologized, so I may have read 1 or 2 of these stories and not realize it. I will give it a read. Nice to see these. So the Weird Tales. First story is Black God's Kiss at 34, Black God's Shadow 34, Jorel Meets Magic 35, and The Darkland 36. Quest of the Starstone is 37, and then Hellsguard is 39. No idea about these stories. The cover of this is by Arnold Sang, Tsang. Yeah. So I'll add it to the fantasy library. I need to check out this publisher. Maybe they've done more. I like old weird stories, stories, reprints. I've got a big anthology. Where is that at? Oh, Weird Tales, I mean, right over here, but we'll see. Then the next thing is a project I'm embarking on, and I've got a couple of, they're really sort of textbooks. Well, they're not sort of textbooks, they are textbooks, but I'm going to be messing around with some Latin this year. So I got 3rd year Latin. This is Jenny and Scudder. These things are, and it's published by Allen and Bacon. These things are fantastic. They do a lot of explaining. Also, you get the colored maps. And I think they had a, is this the one that has it? No, this is not the one. They'll have the Latin text, but they have a lot of vocabulary, a lot of explanations of things historically. So I'm going to mess around with it again, see how I do. Best laid plans, right? Yeah, tons and tons of illustrations throughout here. These things are really beautiful. So there's 3rd year, and then here's 4th year. Same author, same publisher. Let's see here. There's another map. Oh, here, there's another map I want to show you. This is the Voyages of Aeneas. Isn't that wonderful? And the artwork in this thing, I really, really like. Let's see if I find a bigger one for you. It's just tons of this. This one was published in 1967. The 3rd year was published in probably the same year or close, 68. So, yeah, glad to have these. A little bit of a project I'm going to be working on, so we'll see how it goes. And then I found one of these Viking portable library things, a newer one. This is the portable Jack Kerouac. Lovely thing. I've just been reading the introduction. Here, I'll put a bookmark in there so I don't lose my place. It's what he called the legend of Duluth, or Dulu Oz, or Duluth, or Duluoz. I think there's 3 syllables in it. Duluoz or something, but it's an autobiographical fiction from what I understand, but it includes his famous works too, even though the characters in the book's names change. So this is Viking, obviously, it's Viking Portable Library. This is a 1995. So, yeah, glad to have it. Been a while since I read any Kerouac, so we'll see. And then this last one's a bit of a trip. So, I like some Norman Mailer and some not so much. I don't think I would have gotten along with him very much as a human being. But I like a lot of folks. I really liked Ancient Evenings, his books on ancient Egypt. And I've read other things of his I like, and I've read some of his magazine articles, stuff like those over the years. At my age, you couldn't really avoid that. He was everywhere. Bit of a character, to put it kindly. But this thing here is Norman Mailer, The Time of Our Time. It's a signed first edition. Got it for $1. And there's a signature, which is interesting, right? This thing came out in, obviously, a first edition, and it came out in 1998. And he's putting together a retrospective, so it has Passes from Naked and Dead, Deer Park, An American Dream, Armies of the Night, The Executioner's Song, Ancient Evenings, Harlot's Ghost, as well as portraits of Ernest Hemingway, Dorothy Parker, Truman Capote, JFK, Marilyn Monroe, Lee Harvey Oswald, Madonna, Bill Clinton, Jimmy Carter, and Richard Nixon, and there's more. So really sort of an interesting thing. I won't read it cover to cover. I'll dig in and out and see some stuff maybe I missed or want to revisit. So I don't think there's a way to do a Steve pyramid. I guess I can try. Let me see. Whoa. And not too bad, right? There we go. We got it. So I hope everyone's doing well. And that's the book haul for the day. So I got to go find a place to put these things. Thank you, BookTube.